In a world where one player can be human, Kunari, elf, or dwarf, one man or woman will help shape the destiny of said world with their heart, or sarcasm, or rudeness, or libido. That's a lot of whores. What is this, a boat racing contest? No. Welcome to Dragon Age Inquisition. There was an explosion so great that the sky itself has been torn open, and a lot of green crap, or demons, or Templars hopped up on Red Lyrium are pouring out onto the surface, causing all types of problems. Don't even get me started on the Dark Spawn. Dragon Age Inquisition is what you've come to expect from RPGs coming out of BioWare, and then some. The storyline is not overly unique or remarkably compelling, but the voice acting and facial expressions are top-notch. Add in the character creation, gear, abilities, crafting, customization of characters, even your environment ever so slightly, and you have one big time sink. A game that will suck you in. During character generation, the player will have the choice of 4 races, 3 classes, and 2 genders. Each class has 3 subclasses or specializations that they can acquire. The NPCs are given their subclasses either at random or it is predetermined. I haven't played through the game twice yet. These main classes are Warrior, Rogue, and Mage. Within these classes there are 4 different trees available. For the Mage, the trees focus on various forms of magic attuned toward nature. The Warrior will be able to choose whether he wants to be a tank or a 2-handed warrior. Finally, the Rogue can either be an archer or he can dual-wield daggers. No matter what class you pick, each subtree have 8 to 9 skills in it. The main character will acquire a special tree that involves the mark he has. The mark allows the character to close rifts or create rifts that will damage the enemy in the area over time. This ability has a meter the player can charge up by killing monsters. The tree for the mark only has one ability to purchase, so the mark will not make the main character or the player character godlike. The mark can also disrupt the rift, which hurts the enemy in the area that emerged from it. This puts the mages and the rogues at the advantage, since the warrior with the mark is most likely using skills like taunt. Being hit while attempting to disrupt the rift interrupts the action. Don't get me wrong, I loved playing my warrior. The tactics area for the characters allow you to determine what abilities are used more by the AI or not at all. There are attributes, but the only direct way for you to influence them is with character trees or crafting gear. Behavior only has 4 areas that the player can manipulate. This pales compared to Dragon Age Origins. These 4 areas are mana, stamina, or health percentages, targeting behavior, and how many potions to keep in reserve. There is a tactical view available. This is completely optional. During combat, the player may choose to activate it, but this option appears to be a direct carryover from a console. It is very apparent that this aspect of the game did not change, as it is clunky and pales compared to Dark Age Origins' tactical view. I only found myself using it to move the characters away from the enemy. In Origins, I would rarely take over a character, preferring to stay in the tactical window. The crafting system is rather in-depth, but then again it isn't, allowing the player to choose the material that will make up the item. Each material and location of the material will determine the item's stat. But the different materials only added 4 to 5 different stats, with the only real difference being a few points. This made crafting repetitive. I found myself in the crafting window for over 15 minutes while in search of materials that best suited my needs. Unfortunately, the player can only craft helmets, shields, runes, armor, and weapons. Amulets, belts, and rings are not available for crafting. The only thing that rings really did were enhance ability damage or duration. Amulets only had a chance to add 1 stat to the character. Belts were just as limiting. Weapons were the best item to craft, because the ability to place stats like strength or constitution were available. Crafting potions was available, but I never seemed to have enough plants to craft a lot. Main health potions replenished themselves without cost, but everything else was a perk and came at a price. All potions can be upgraded. Monsters can be researched to allow the characters to do more damage to them, or gain additional experience. Be careful when visiting the merchant. You may accidentally sell the research materials. I did so on more than one occasion, in an attempt to avoid the evil loading screen. There is a war table where you conduct operations across Ferelden or Olay. 3 advisors will assist you in this matter. Some missions will require only the advisors to send troops, spies, scouts, or diplomats to take care of the situation. These are missions that have timers. These timers can be 15 minutes, or in some cases 24 hours. Some missions will of course require the player character to handle. There are perks that become available as your influence grows. These perks are broken up into 4 categories: Forces, Secrets, Connections, and Inquisition. Each area of influence has 6 abilities available for purchase with points. Some of these abilities indirectly affect your party, while others have more of a direct influence. For example, additional healing potions or experience. Odds are this area will not be completely unlocked by the time that you complete the game. Only about 60%. A lot of the quests reward power. Power can be spent at the war table on missions that the player character can go on. Spending power in this manner unlocks new areas for the player to explore. Try not to get caught up in these side quests, because for a certain type of player, this can become taxing and boring as you run from point A to B, C, D, E. Well, you get the idea. As you play Dragon Age Inquisition, you will discover enemies, friendlies, landmarks, side quests, mines, runes, shards, scrolls, books, plants to pick, and minerals to mine. There is also something else you will discover. At times, the melee AI prefers to stand around when certain range is met between the target and the player-controlled character who is ranged. There are also times when commands that were given in the tactical mode will disappear as you switch back to the standard combat. While using a warrior, I ran into moments when the character would slide along the side of big targets, missing them entirely. Other times I would find that my own teammates would be in the way. But I did it, guys. I played everything prior to being forced to follow the main storyline. What were the results? I out-leveled all my main encounters. I had a power level of 200 most of the time, and I was never able to specialize my warrior into a reaver. The option just wasn't there, not until the end of the game it seemed. But I had already done everything that had came along. So why take the time to look for the last item when I only had 2 missions left to run? Come on guys, play your games. The option should have been available sooner to specialize my character. When the last 2 missions became apparent, I simply had this strange feeling like it was going to end. This came rather abruptly, and all the work put into making allies felt like a wasted effort. There is only one side quest that comes to mind as being helpful: the shards. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it for you. After playing the bulk of this game, I have to say that there were quite a few bugs, from crashes to questionable design choices. There are a few examples of this on my channel. Overall, I have to say that I did enjoy my experience. There was nothing game-breaking, and it was fun. I definitely plan on playing this game again. That is why. Oh, wait. Multiplayer. Like on this review, multiplayer feels tacked on. An afterthought. You play as a generic character with other players and run the same handful of dungeons repeatedly, earning coin for the shop to purchase various sized chests. You can purchase in-game currency with real-world money, but you would be making somewhere in the ballpark of like $20 an hour by running the missions yourself. The in-game shop is highly inflated to where only people that burn money should use it. I believe that this is a good way to encourage players to play the game, and if they really want to spend their money, the option is there for them. After all, there is no PvP, so what harm can it do? My final score for this game is an 8.0. Once all the minor issues are ironed out and multiplayer is relevant, the title is more of a 9.0. I wish the game just didn't feel like it was rushed at the end. It feels like 80% of the game was complete, and they just reached a point to where they had a deadline and they had to put it out. I still have additional missions at the war table, but none I can currently send my main character on. These missions are for over an hour, so there isn't really much of a reason for me to play the game, except to start a mission and then log off. So the question is, will any of these additional missions eventually open up a side quest for my main character to go on? Only time will tell. If this happens, I will add an annotation to this review to let you guys know. My name is Wasting Sanity. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. And as always, I want to thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it.